Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 2 commentary, where it is time to finally put an end to things. Yes, indeedy, it comes now to the final battle. No more filler, no more cleanup. It's finally time to end this. But whoa, I need a moment to calm down. But yeah, this is your point of no return, so go forth beyond, and let us defeat Xemnas.
Get ready, Xemnas. It all ends here.
So, it seems your hearts have led you to obliteration. Perhaps it doesn't pay to be too loyal to one's heart. I will have to be sure and remember that.
No! We can take him on our own.
Oh, hell yeah, this is sick. Now, you're going to be seeing in a little bit why this is one of my favorite final bosses of all time, but also why this is my favorite, I think, ending sequence in the entire Kingdom Hearts series. Right about now.
Let's go!
Oh, I think I just jizzed in my pants. I'll spare you the rest of that mental imagery, but again, the build-up, the excitement, the tension. Again, much in a similar vein to Ansem Secret of Darkness, Xemnas does have several different phases throughout his boss fight, some of which is actually a bit of trivia, but again, the build-up to actually reaching him, again, it feels very in lieu with a lot of the game's mechanics. Again, you saw the reaction command earlier to slash through buildings, but we're going to be seeing more of that right here, as we need to reach Xemnas in the first place. Oh yes, this is sick. Extreme stunts, destroying buildings twice our size. This is anime as fuck, and I goddamn love it. But yeah, we need to make it all the way up to that giant transformer, which was initially going to have more phases, as boss content was going to allude to. Again, once we destroy this mech in its flight mode, it would have transformed basically into this giant heavy king sort of thing. The resemblance of which you'll actually see a little bit later in well, the no-heart armor, as it's later referred to in Birth by Sleep. But yeah, with this space particularly, just jump out of the way, avoid its laser cannon fire. I thought this was meant to be the engines, which I suppose it is, but I guess maybe it was meant to be like sort of an afterburner exhaust or something. Whatever, basically, the point is it hits several nobodies into the thing, and you should be good, dude, whilst also occasionally jumping out of the way before you're completely decimated. I've never seen what happens if you do that. I'm guessing what happens is that either Sora immediately dies, or he just goes into that arm-sporting, "Nah mate, I'm afraid you lose, nah mate," sort of game failure state. Similar to what you saw with Demix when you failed to kill all his clones. But yeah, this is, and you know what, again, I don't even mean this disingenuously compared to the likes of, the fights against Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts 3, or Ansem in Kingdom Hearts 1, or even any of the other side games, really, because if there's one thing that Kingdom Hearts does really well, it's final boss confrontations, at least in terms of dealing with the atmosphere. And, yeah, again, if I was to pick my favorite, if you twisted my arm, it has to be this one, because, again, considering all, the depression and death we've dealt with throughout the game, all the sacrifices made to get us here, I don't know, it makes this finale feel earned in my eyes, and again, the fact that we're just, slowly defeating a lot of Xemnas' literal machinations as we're defeating his little nobody mech right here. I don't know, it just feels like we're slowly peeling away the layers piece by piece until we get to the head honcho himself, and when we get there... Well, again, I'm not going to spoil it because you'll be seeing it in the final video, but again, it is... Again, it hits the right notes of being epic and tragic at the same time, which, again, I feel really does sort of pay dividends to the whole nobody thing. I mean, again, they're not explicitly villains, or at least not in this context, but again, creatures that are just looking for hearts, and I don't know, there's an element of tragedy and an element of, well, you know, sadism in it, and I don't know, I just like it. Probably using the wrong terms, but I am just completely swept up in the atmosphere at the moment. Anyway, in terms of what we're doing that's actually important, defeat nobodies, lower the shield, and go to town on Xemnas' shield generator. Oh yeah, and he'll also occasionally try and pinch you with his little pincers. Which is weird. I think if it was like any other game, they probably would have had like a game mode where you try and get the pincers into the shield, but that's not this sort of game. There we go. And now we have finally made it to, well, yeah, I guess what was meant to be the design basis for the nobody mech that we were going to fight throughout the other cut phases, but no, this here is no heart. What I believe is, well, again, and I'm going to spoil something slightly here because we do fight this armor itself in Birth by Sleep. I believe it's meant to be a basis of Xehanort's Keyblade armor, which, well, I'll tell you what that is a little bit later on, but basically it's a similar thing to what the Lingering Will was wearing, except there's a person inside it. And that probably tells you all you need to know, really. Oh yeah, the broskies are back. But yeah, this won't be our final battle against the no-heart armor. Oh, by the way, also notice some of the organization weapons nearby his throne. Very curious.
I need more rage. I need more hearts.
Xemnas, there's more to a heart than just anger or hate. It's full of all kinds of feelings. Don't you remember?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Gosh, you all did great.
You're coming back with us, right?
I had given in to the darkness.
Riku!
How am I gonna face everyone?
Like this?
Hurry!
I'll open a path. Huh? Oh.
You don't belong in the Dark Realm anymore, Riku.
How do we get out of here, Your Majesty? Who did this?
Well, I'm not sure. But we better hurry and get through.
Wait for me!
Come on!
Thank you, Namine. Sure. See? We meet again, like we promised.
Huh?
You said we'd meet again. But when we did, we might not recognize each other.
I did, didn't I?
But I knew you.
It's strange.
I think I understand. I see myself the way you remember me. And you see yourself the way I remember you.
I always thought nobodies were doomed to fade back into darkness.
Yeah. But you and I didn't. We got to meet our original selves.
So, we can be together again.
Right. Anytime Sora and Kairi are together.
We'll be together every day. Right, Sora?
Yeah.
Yep, he's not thinking about Kairi, he's thinking about his boyfriend Riku. And there is one thing I also want to point out with this scene, specifically. This scene also seems to hint towards nobodies being more than the sum of their parts, and again, a lot of people call out Dream Drop Distance for ruining the nobodies, but again, rewatching this scene again for this commentary, it kinda seems to hint towards what Dream Drop Distance was already implying. And again, even Chain of Memories before that, so curious.
Huh?
Don't worry. You're all still you.
Hey, let's go home.
Riku, come on.
Yeah.
Sora! Riku!
What?
Yep, it's not over yet. We have one last battle of the organization, and all of our friends are now safe. But again, it does also show us a little bit more about the world that never was. Namely, that what few remnants were there was either already from a world that ceased to be, and that anything else the organization created is, well, dead and buried apart from this giant fuck-off dragon right here. So, yeah, this world is literally comprised of nothingness. Again, I'm sure, you know, Kingdom Hearts as a series is probably more focused on Quadrado now, but the Realm of Nothingness is quite curious. I'm curious as to what else is there, or if this is literally it. I don't know, maybe it's just there to suit the purgatorial themes, but regardless. To talk about this boss fight specifically, or at least this phase of it, it's a very simplistic sort of, you know, absorb the different laser attacks, basically shoot the boss with the big fuck-off attack, which is really how you're doing any damage to it. I mean, again, you can fire lasers to defend yourself, use a little bit of a shield, and, yeah, it's nothing too bad, although keep an eye on your health, because again, you can't access your magic commands, so there's no cheaty little cure spell, because I suppose that doesn't extend to this little nobody glider thing. But yeah, just absorb the laser attacks and it'll build up your gauge, and then fire, basically. I suppose the other way of doing it is also, like, attacking the little tertiary nobody enemies just right there, but yeah, that's about it. And, well, I suppose to put anything else into perspective, I mean, Xemnas is still there, he's just commandeering the Keyblade armor of a life long since past. Although it isn't his original armor. That armor we met earlier. And again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say what you'll be seeing in the secret movie next time, and, well, what you saw in a previous part, well, let's just say that we saw his original armor. But yeah, this is, what I would say is one of the weaker phases. I mean, again, it does have pretty good scale, but at the same time, you don't really have a lot to do in terms of your maneuverable mechanics. Again, it isn't a fully fleshed out space combat mode, but I don't know. If I could compare it to anything, really, I suppose it's kind of like a Sky Chase from Sonic Adventure. And again, the most annoying part, really, is just sort of waiting until your thing fills up and you can actually deal damage by the time you get your laser charged up. But even then, it takes a fair while to do it, so it comes across as a little bit more padding as opposed to, you know, getting involved in the thick of it. A nice pace breaker, I suppose, but, I don't know. It is what it is, and you can just sort of take it or leave it, really. Although I suppose maybe if you could have sped it up a little bit, maybe you could have had a sort of thing where, like, the smaller lasers do, like, you know, small bits of damage, but again, it takes, you know, But you can sort of divide your effort between the big fuck-off laser cannon and, you know, pish lasers. I don't know. I mean, it'd at least provide a sort of out where, you know, the boss fight doesn't overstay its welcome. Although, I mean, I suppose given the scope, you could have also easily, like, well, you could have easily had it spiced up with a few reaction commands, maybe? I don't know. It's over now, so I no longer have to ramble about this flying sky chase dragon. Also, we never see these little nobody ships again, so, yeah, they exist for this one thing. I mean, I don't know, I suppose maybe the organization members who couldn't fly used them as means of traveling around? No. It was fun while it lasted, and it even has like a little sidecar, which, as we all know, are for bitches and hoes. And here we go. We're going to be having a much more involved and secondary battle against the No-Heart Armor. But yeah, this one is basically expanding upon what we already fought before. Again, we already had a taste of what the No-Heart Armor was like, but this time around it's also, well, extended and, well, somewhat a little bit pish because it does sort of extend, well, the boss battle a little bit, but again, it is fun for what it's worth and does have a grand degree of scope to it, so I'll shut up now.
Hey, Riku?
Yeah?
I wanted to thank Naminé, but I couldn't bring myself to say it. Not until everything was back to the way it was before.
Don't worry. We'll make that happen. Once this is over, you can thank her all you want.
Yeah!
Yes, he will indeed thank Naminé, encoded, and well, actually no, I don't think the real Sora ever does thank Naminé. That cheeky bitch. Oh, by the way, notice that the No-Heart Armor is, currently in captivity. And, notice similarly, with Ansem's Guardian, from all the way back in Kingdom Hearts 1, that his Guardian's mouth was also taped up. Interesting. But yeah, this is pretty much it for the No-Heart Armor. This is him sitting on his throne. Truly is he the king of Kingdom Hearts? Well, no, probably not really, because this is pretty much the last time we're going to see this armor. Unless I count Birth by Sleep, where it's kind of a sort of like non-canon super boss sort of thing, so really, what the fuck? Also, I had to pause because I'm getting distracted during my epic battle, which does indeed go on for quite a while, so again, that's why I'm kind of splitting it off into two parts. Again, doubly so because the final part is gonna be a mega-length beast. But yeah, on top of basically just giving it all this, yeah, the No-Heart Armor, being the ever smart lad, is like, oh, no, can I have defeat? No. So yeah, he's basically gonna throw buildings at you and launch you far away and just shoot lasers at you to do a little bit of pish damage. But yeah, what you're basically supposed to do is, you're meant to reach, again, not those buildings, because I initially thought that, you know, you were supposed to use your action command, but no, you need to use the ones that are stalwart, and basically just launch him with your Keyblade, just do damage to his shield, and then you can basically get back to the boss fight good and proper. So again, the additional mechanics it adds for this portion of the boss fight isn't necessarily all that good. I mean, really, all it does is just add a few extra steps. I suppose what they could have done is have the No-Heart Keyblade armor break free of its chains, as we saw initially, and then maybe have it go after, but I suppose that would also ruin the symbolism and the twist as to, well, the secret behind Xehanort. But yeah, he's also quite passive, and I don't know if it's ever been confirmed or not, but apparently Xemnas can summon a Keyblade similar to that of, you know, Roxas and Xion. But he never does, unless of course this sword is meant to be his Keyblade, which I mean is entirely possible, and it does actually somewhat resemble a certain Keyblade that we'll be seeing in the next Kingdom Hearts game we're covering, that is Birth by Sleep, but that won't be for a while. And I suppose to ease your fears right now, don't worry, Birth by Sleep will be nowhere near as long as Kingdom Hearts 2, because I mean, even if I was going out of my way to engage in the side content, yeah, I hate that game, so I probably wouldn't be asked. Well, I mean, okay, I tell a lie, I probably would invest in some of the side content of Birth by Sleep, but it'll really only be enough to get the Xehanort reports, and that's pretty much it, really. Because, I mean, some of the super bosses in that game are a little bit, how you say, bullshit! And again, apart from, like, one that you have to complete another tertiary super boss in order to get to, is nothing more than saying, play Dream Drop Distance to know who X and Y are. so not really too worth it in my eyes. And it will harm you, Xemnas, wherever you are. But yeah, that's, I mean, again, I wouldn't really say this phase is necessarily pushed, because, I mean, it's got scale and scope in that whole sort of Shadow of the Colossus kind of way. I suppose it's just more of a factor is that the boss is just trying to bat you away as opposed to actually fighting you, which... I mean, again, it's not terrible, but it's just kind of a little bit... But again, I suppose it is also meant to play at the symbolism of, again, you're gradually peeling away Xemnas' armor, and eventually reaching the true man inside, in which case there is, well, nothingness. Something that will be reflected in the boss arena. And something I should also actually point out, now that you're listening to this, the next track you're going to be hearing in the next part is called Darkness of the Unknown. But again, if you could also hear it through here, beneath my waffling commentary, you might notice a few similarities to the boss battle of the Lingering Will, with its boss theme, The Rage Awakened. Yes, yes. Connection to the Keyblade past. But on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keeping new metal, and now we enter the realm of nothingness.